All right, so we have Dustin here from Waller's Wallet, and he's going to come on and he's going to chat with us and tell us about how he got started with travel credit cards and why he started his channel. And we're just going to have a conversation about travel credit cards. I've been wanting to get him on for a long time. He just got back from, we'll have to talk to him about where he was because I can't remember right offhand. I know he's in Europe somewhere. So we'll bring him in and talk to him and go from there. Let's see. If you guys have any questions, for him, please put it in the chat, and then we'll have him answer questions. But let me bring him on in so we can chat it up with Dustin. All right, and look, you're off centered. Let me get you centered here, Dustin. This is a live operation here. I got to get you centered up here.
No worries. How's everyone doing tonight?
Okay, let me see. What did I just do here? All right. I don't know why you moved around there, but I got to fix it, and it's this thing is crazy right now. All right. Yeah, so you can go ahead and start talking, Dustin. So we got Dustin here, and tell us a little bit about your channel. Tell us a little bit about how you got started with travel credit cards.
Yeah, well, first off, thanks for David having me on. I really appreciate it. Love your channel, man. Love the content you're putting out. Remember, everyone, if you're liking this, hit that thumbs up button. Let's bring some more people into this chat. But what my channel is all about, my channel is really about credit card and credit card rewards. But the big thing I like to do with people is show them how to use those points to travel, because I think one thing we really focus on is how to earn, and earning is just so easy. And while I'm not perfect at it, I spend a lot of time reading award charts, reading how to redeem our points in an efficient manner, because if you have a lot of points, that's great, but maybe you're not someone who has millions and millions of dollars and spend, where you need to use your points efficiently. And my goal for people is to really show you how you can make those trips happen with those points, or show you ways you can use those points more efficiently so you have more trips for future trips. And that's really where I kind of aim to go with the channel, because there's just so many of us, and you're talking about credit card rewards. The earning side's not as well talked about. Mm-hmm. Volume's a little low. All right, let me see if I can turn my volume up some.
Okay, and I can open it up too. As soon as I fix your screen real quick, I'm just doing some stuff on the back end here. All right, we got you. There we go. And your audio. Go ahead and start. Just keep talking, and I can.
Can everyone hear me now? Let me know in the comments if you can hear me.
All right, it'll get louder.
But as far as I guess I can repeat some of that.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's just start the show over.
Let's start the show. Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, my channel is just all about showing people, I talk about credit cards and credit card rewards because I love those topics, but I really like showing people how they can use their points and miles to travel for less, because while a lot of us focus on the earning side, not many of us really focus on the redemption side. And redemption, I think, is equally, if not more important than the earning side, because there's just so many ways to earn, but redeeming them efficiently is where people get hung up at. And I think that's where I get a lot of my comments, a lot of questions is, hey, I have X number of points. How can I make this trip happen? And so that's really where I focus on. I try to focus on how you can earn those points, maximizing it, but really, how to use those points to travel. Okay. And how it's interesting. It's funny. The short story of how I got in the points and miles game is actually my wife. The long story, I guess, is when her and I were dating, I went over to her apartment, and she had to discover it credit card. She wasn't really into the points and miles stuff, but she was using cash back at the time to help buy Christmas gifts. Mm-hmm. And I had this crappy USAA credit card where I would spend $3,500 and get a $25 statement credit. Mm-hmm. So I go over to her place, and she has this Discover cash. I'm like, holy cow, how'd you earn it was, I was in grad school at the time. It was $200 in cash back rewards. So she tells me this, and I start digging into the rabbit hole. And then, I open up a Discover card, but a couple years later when we're getting married, I was like, how can I make our honeymoon more affordable? Mm-hmm. So I ended up stumbling across a couple blogs, and I opened the Chase Sapphire Preferred. At the time, it was 40,000 points. And then we spent $15 for airfare round trip to Jamaica, and I've been hooked ever since.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's all it takes too. Just one trip, and, and once you see it work,
Hmm.
then it's game on from there. That's the way I was. I mean, once I saw it work, I was sold.
Oh man, that first redemption, I tell people it's like a drug. Like that first redemption,
Yeah,
people are like, it's not a big deal. But once you're sitting down, realizing like, it doesn't matter if it's business class or coach. Like when you're sitting there for next to nothing, it's like, this is great. I can keep doing this over and over again.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so let's talk about some of the cards you have. Some of your favorite cards. Actually, let's go over the cards you have first, and then you can talk about a few of your favorites.
Yeah, I actually had to pull back out my normal day-to-day rotation because I literally got in like an hour before we started doing live stream.
Okay.
But currently, like in my every day-to-day setup, I have the Altitude Reserve, which if anybody watches the channel knows, I am a big fan of that card. Um, I got the Uber credit card. I have my USA Limitless Cashback credit card. Um, I have the Chase Freedom credit card, and I actually have a USA Cash Plus Rewards card in my wallet as well. I hit my Discover limit already for the quarter, so that kind of got moved out.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of my setup. I have a couple American Express cards as well, but for the most part, it's a basically a cashback setup when I'm not earning any points.
Okay.
And my big one is definitely my Altitude Reserve. Like that is like my go-to card and
Okay.
like my favorite card I think of any card on the market right now for
Tell us
myself.
why you love it, and sell some people on it, because
Uh,
I don't have the card. I did a
no,
little
see,
quick review on a live stream about
yeah,
it.
so the reason I'm a big fan of it, one, I have a Samsung phone. I have Samsung Pay. So I basically get to use my mobile wallet anywhere because it has the MST technology. So basically, it's like your card is acting like it's being swiped through the point of sale machine,
Uh huh.
but it's triggered as a mobile wallet payment.
Okay.
So everywhere I go, I'm earning triple points on my purchases. So like it earns triple points on travel and for mobile wallet payments, and then one point
Okay.
1 point per dollar everywhere else.
Wow. Okay.
So you can redeem those points at 1.5 cents per point. So, and they have what's really called real-time mobile rewards. So, for example, I just came back from my trip. I had a round trip ticket to London.
Uh huh.
So I booked my wife, my son, and myself, three people for 59,000 Altitude Reserve points round trip from Boston to London. I booked it right through British Airways because that's one of the airlines that triggers it. So I literally
Mm-hmm.
went to British Airways website. I paid for it with my card.
Okay.
I got a text message like 2 minutes later saying, "Do you want to use your Altitude Reserve points for this card?" And all you do is hit redeem through a text message, and it redeems it.
Oh wow.
So I earn triple points right from my card because like if you redeem them, let's say you have Chase points and you have to go through the Chase portal. You're not going to earn any points on your credit card because you're redeeming your points and just effectively making it $0.
Mm-hmm.
So I earned triple points on I think it was like a $800 ticket fare, but for all of us after it was all said and done. And then I still earn my miles from British Airways, which I credit them to American, but they still posted to British Airways for some reason. And then I still earn my triple points for my card, and then I still get the benefit of all my travel protections and basically wiped out right then and there.
Okay. Okay. All
You
right.
know,
Cool. I
so
guess
yeah,
my mic is a little hot. Some people are saying so. I dropped it down a little bit. Just let me know, guys, if that sounds better. If not, then we're gonna have to work on that. I don't know why it's hot. It's should be fine. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about your trip. So you just
sure.
got back. So let us know where you went and if you used points to get there, how many points you used, and all that good stuff.
So we just got back from our trip. We ended up flying. It was a super cheap ticket to fly round trip to London. We also went to Edinburgh as well.
Hmm.
So flew round trip Boston to London Heathrow, 59,000 altitude reserve points. Had a little hiccup, got like a message from British Airways about 2 hours before, hour and a half, 2 hours before check-in. They canceled my flight. They were going to put me on a flight for Iberia the next day. And I
Uh
was
huh.
like, that's not going to work. Like, I already have reservations for my Airbnb. So I get on the phone with them like 2 hours later. I finally am booked. I'm on now an Aer Lingus flight. And like, I'm not a super av geek, but I was on a British Airways nonstop A380 upper deck with like the configuration is something I do look at because now with like in general I just look at it. The upstairs configuration is a 242, and I always like to have the two sides, so I'm not having somebody next to me.
Uh huh.
right? Aer Lingus is now a 757 3x3. So I'm like, I feel like I got to downgrade it on the plane. So be it. Now I have a
Hmm.
layover in Shannon, Ireland, and now I'm getting in at like 10 a.m. as opposed to like 6:30 a.m.
Wow.
So
Okay.
I had some hiccups there. You know what? I'm not gonna, it is what it is. I got there and we stayed in London for 3 days, then took the train, which I love taking the train in Europe because one, it's efficient. I just love seeing the countryside. Went up to Edinburgh for like 4 or 5 days, and then had to fly back to London to get home, which was fine.
Okay.
Um, because I've been using, I think this is actually, if you're listening to this, you're probably seeing, I don't know if it's tomorrow's video, but if not, I might switch it to tomorrow's video. I've been using the American, the membership reward trick or point through Amazon where you spend like one membership reward point and you get $30 off 60.
Hmm.
And I've just been buying Airbnb gift cards at a 50% discount for a while. So in London, I had got basically 50% off my entire stay in my Airbnb, booked it through the British Airways Airbnb portal. So I got 3 avios per dollar.
Wow.
So like I've earned miles as well as saved a lot of money.
Okay.
And then like the train, it was only like, I think it was like $40 a person or something like that for the train to Edinburgh. So it was super cheap.
Wow. Wow.
But that kind of like sums up my trip, and then like, I was just using my altitude reserve everywhere. I think I could use my altitude reserve everywhere, but like three places.
Okay. All right. So I'm hoping the audio sounds a little bit better, guys. I made a few adjustments, and we got to do this stuff on the fly. So I don't want to take any more of the time. So I think hopefully that sounds better. We're just gonna leave it at that for now. If not, but yeah, if you guys have questions, now's the time to put it in the chat. Just go ahead and put those questions in the chat, and then we'll go over some questions here. Let's talk. Did we talk about your channel? I don't think we talked much about your channel, huh?
um, okay, I think like well, oh man, let's see. Like, how did I get in? Like, how
Yeah,
I got into
how did you
YouTube?
start your channel, and why
Okay.
did you start your channel, and where do you want to go with your channel? Let's say 2 years down the road, because YouTube moves fast. So I don't even want to say 5 years. We'll say 2 years down the road.
Yeah, so like I got started. So I'd been blogging. I'd been in the blogging world for a couple of years. I had my own blog, and then I was blogging over at Running with Miles for a couple of years.
Okay.
And I'd been doing these video consults for friends and family, like because they're like, send me an email. I'm like, I'm just gonna video chat you, just be a lot easier.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so because it's just easy. I've even started doing my credit card consults in email, like just video form, because it saves me so much time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing it with one of our friends, and he lives in New York, and he came up one weekend last year and was like, "You should do YouTube for credit card stuff." And I had never even thought of it, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Why on earth would I do that?" And he goes, "I think you could do well at it." So I'm like, I get nervous on camera. I'm not great speaking, and like it's a learned thing. I feel. I'm sure you understand this too. Like, you walk back at your first videos, and it's like it's terrible, but you evolve over time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, let me just give it a go. Like, what's the worst that happens? Like, I try it, I don't like it, I don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
But I really like it. Like, it's just such a way to connect with people that blogging can't. I mean, it's got
Yeah.
its challenges as well, but like, it's just so great, like to have that community of people who like just to build it up.
Yeah.
And as far as where do I see my channel in 2 years?
Hundred
Um,
thousand.
you know, That would be great. I don't know if I'll ever hit that number. I would love to be at if I'm at 10,000 in 2 years, I'm happy.
No,
I
you'll
had a
be
goal. I had an,
way higher than that. You'll be way higher than that.
I would
Trust
love to
me.
be higher than that. I'm definitely I wake up every day with people who watch the channel. It just amazes me.
Mm-hmm.
If I could hit 100,000, that'd be great. I'm definitely aiming for as many as possible that can give people the valuable content. But like, I actually set like at the beginning of the year, I set a goal of myself for 10,000 by the end of this year, and I'm like, man, definitely not gonna hit it. But
It's I mean, just like I've been talking about the whole road to 10,000 and all that.
yeah.
I'm hoping to get there, but it is hard. But once you start getting more and more subscribers, gets a little bit easier and easier. So, yeah, I mean, I look at some of these people, like Ask Sebi and some of the other people. He's over 100,000. He started like 2 years ago, so it's very possible. You just got to put the content out there, and if people are receptive, they're receptive. One thing I do like those the live streams. I know you've done a few live streams. You do like
Yep.
one a month. I love that. I mean, I love YouTube. I love putting out videos, but I
Yep.
like doing live streams even better because you really have that sense of family. Because you have the same people coming on. Generally, you have the same people coming on all the time, and they're talking with you and helping you out when stuff is going wrong, and so it's a family, and I really like that aspect of YouTube allowing these live streams. Next, I think they've only been doing it for like 2 years, but yeah, I think it's really an amazing platform. So
Yeah, no,
go
I
ahead, go ahead.
agree. The platform and just is brings so many people together, and like it's just great. Like there's a difference. Like I've been in the blogging world for years, but like it's just different than the blogging world
Hmm.
because people are so I don't want to say they're disconnected from it, but like you don't get that face to face thing. Like you're just reading a bunch of words from someone, and it's easy. You can't really put the face or the voice to the person.
Hmm.
So like when we were in Edinburgh recently, family loves to throw out my YouTube channel to other family members. So like I was walking by someone and they were like, I recognized your voice from YouTube. And I was like, that's really cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's really cool. Like, you didn't, like, I don't know if you didn't see my face, but like, you heard my voice and knew like you'd heard it before.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like, that's just really cool. And like, when I was in New York a couple weeks ago, I had a points meetup with some people and like, people came up and like, they wanted to meet and talk points. Like, and to me, like, that is still super awesome that one people wanted to come out because they wanted to meet other people in the community but like they just came together because it was there to me that's just
Yeah.
so much better than what I was getting in the blogging world.
Okay. Yeah, it's crazy. I think Jason, he just sent me a message here. He's going to try to come in. So
Awesome.
we'll keep talking. I have not done this before, guys. Bringing in another person, so we're going to try to do that. Hopefully that works out. But it'll be great because we'll have three people in here talking travel credit cards. So that's good. So any plans for any future
Yep.
trips?
I think there was,
Did you see
let's
something
see.
on the?
No, I'm just reading, I'm going through some comments right now to answer why
Okay.
you're looking to add him in, add Jason in.
Yeah. Well,
So let's
he
see.
hasn't called in yet, but do you have plans right now for any future trips, and then we
Yeah,
can.
actually in 2 weeks I'm going back, we're going over to Amsterdam and to Brussels.
Oh wow. Okay. Cool. Cool.
So I booked that one there. That trip, I was actually looking to go to Asia this year, but I told my wife, like, if I was going to go to Asia, if we were going to go to Asia, I wanted to sit business class. I didn't want to fly and coach
Mm-hmm.
for 15 hours.
Yeah.
So I'd been looking at that and I didn't really see any availability. So I ended up just happened to look over in Europe and I was able to find, we fly into Brussels from Boston and then fly home from Amsterdam, both nonstop direct flights for 43,000 sky miles a person
Wow.
and $50 in taxes, and then it was only like $15 to add my son as a lap child.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'm like, okay, Asia's canceled for this year, maybe next year.
Mm-hmm.
We're going back over to Europe, and my wife's such a great, teammate about it. She's just kind of like, I don't care where we go, that's fine, and you just make it happen.
Yeah. Cool. That's awesome, man.
So
That's awesome.
I actually booked our Airbnb tonight for Brussels, and there's a flat. Well, we're staying at a flat with a cat, and I'm super pumped because I have two cats myself, and this Airbnb is a super host, and that's kind of my big thing when we travel internationally because I don't really pack a lot of luggage.
Uh-huh.
We pack really light, and we use the washer, so we're able to
Okay. Yeah.
pack really light. I actually just got a new. I don't even think it's down here right now, but I bought a nomadic backpack.
Uh-huh.
And I've tried a lot of different backpacks out, but the nomadic bag, and it's not sponsored, so don't let me think it's sponsored. I pay for my own money.
Not sponsored yet.
Not sponsored yet. Yeah, that's the key word. But it has been possibly the best travel backpack I've had, and I've tried out plenty of them. It's just really well organized and made.
Uh-huh.
So I was really impressed with it. My wife even was impressed with it when she was like, "This is really comfortable," because I've had a couple, and she's like, "These suck." But she didn't
Hmm.
say that about this one, so I was actually really happy about that.
Cool, cool. Yeah, that the Airbnb thing, man. That's I haven't. I mean, I've stayed at Airbnbs now, but up until like 2 years ago, I'd never stayed in Airbnb, and I started staying at Airbnbs, and I really like staying there. And the main reason is for the washer dryer. So
Yeah,
if you can get one with the washer dryer, that's a game changer because you can pack. I can pack just to carry on a
yeah,
personal
that's for us,
item,
it's a
and
game
I'm good.
changer. The ability to cook. So like we try to save some money while we're traveling too. So like we'll cook one meal in at some point throughout our trip, like one meal a day.
Mm-hmm.
And that just saves us a lot of money.
Okay.
So that there is big. I've also noticed, I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but because people cross-reference the platforms, I've seen deals on hotels.com for the same place that's cheaper than Airbnb.
Hmm.
So I'll go through the portals and whatnot to save myself money. So it's kind of one tip to look at because like I've seen it before.
Wow, that is
Just
a good tip. So you're saying if you're looking on, so wait, repeat what you said. Just,
yeah.
just I don't
So
want to
like
say it wrong.
no, no. So like if you're looking at Airbnb and you find a flat or an apartment, whatever you're looking at on Airbnb,
Uh huh.
I've started cross-referencing that to hotels.com
Okay.
because I've found before the same flat listed on hotels.com for less money.
Mm-hmm.
And like,
Oh boy. All right. Okay. So we're back now. Sorry about that,
no,
man.
no worries.
And when he came in, I just clicked it, thinking, okay, it's just gonna bring him in
Just
too,
gonna
right?
bring them
It'll
in,
be
right?
like a group.
Yeah.
No, that's not how it works. All right. All right. So you were deep in thought too, or not deep in thought, but you were deep into a conversation. Let's. So we were talking about the hotel. Uh, hotels.com compared to or hotel comparing hotels.com with Airbnb, and I was just telling you, yeah, that is my go-to now. Airbnb,
Hmm.
well, I won't say my go-to. I always like staying at Hyatt properties whenever possible, but if there's not one available, which Hyatt is not, their footprint isn't as large as some of the other hotel brands.
Hmm.
So I'll look at Airbnb before I look at any other hotel brands. It just works out that much better. Okay, all
Right.
right. So I really apologize, man. I don't even know.
No,
Look
no
at
need
that.
to apologize. It's fine.
It
Like,
just
hey,
moved you back
it's
off
not a
the
problem
screen.
whatsoever.
Yeah, that's oh god. All right, let me fix you back up again. I don't know why it keeps moving your screen here. Let me lock it in. Okay. Um, so let's talk a little bit about cards that are on your list, like in the future, any cards that you're considering getting, and why are you considering getting those?
So right now I'm kind of in like a hold state because I recently I actually just got I actually got the Avianca card for me and my wife
Uh
at the
huh.
60,000 miles
Okay.
um, because I have some plans to use those. I'm actually the refreshed AMX green card that's supposed to be coming out, I feel like months ago. I'm waiting because if the rumors are true on that with a $95 fee with Amazon Prime,
Uh huh.
that's totally going to be there because I have a Prime membership anyways. That's going to save me money per year.
Yeah.
And I am a membership reward fan. Just for me, this is going to start off probably an argument with people. I think membership rewards is a better currency than ultimate rewards when it comes to airlines.
Okay. Okay.
I think hands down. There's just so many more options. When you get to hotels, Chase has Hyatt, and I think I'm on the record saying if Chase ever lost Hyatt, Chase plummets. I just because they're just so good for that reason. Outside of
Yeah.
that, I mean, with membership rewards, they're just so versatile for airlines.
Yeah.
Um, but other cards, I really am also waiting to see what happens with this City Double Cash refresh coming out next in the next week.
Uh huh.
But then I'm going to be looking probably to get the City Premier card because I think the City Premier and City Double Cash combo for people could be big.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think the City Double Cash transferring to thank you points at a 1-to-1, it is a game changer. I do think that.
Okay. Okay. We just have to see what the conversion rates are with the double cash
I'll tell
transfer.
you, I reached out to them
Oh, you
and
did.
I posted this in a couple groups too, in my Facebook group.
Uh huh.
And the rep it through Twitter, and the guy was responding like crazy to my stuff. He did say it'd be 1-to-1.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
I'll wait for it to come out officially, but like I'm feeling pretty good 1-to-1.
Cool, cool. All right, we have a super chat. Thank you very much, Cakeology. Thank you for the super chat. And we got to do shout outs. I didn't do any shout outs. We kind of started off a little rough, and I do apologize for that. Started off late and a little bit rough, and then we had our little intermission there with Jason showing a cameo there. So let me do shout outs real quick, and then we'll
Sure,
get
yeah.
back. We'll get back and we'll answer or we'll have some questions for Dustin here. Okay, Dolly, thank you for stopping by. Braveheart, thank you for stopping by. We got Walker, we have Waller in the building. Vic, what's going on? Faker fans, what's up, man? Let's see who else is in the building here. Nate and Jess, what's going on, guys? And David, Amex King Moss, what's going on, brother? The Joe Hill Experience, what's up? And how to get an 800 credit score. What's going on, buddy? And how to get an 800 credit score. He's got a channel, so you guys want to check him out. Hit those little three dots on the right side there, and it will take you over to his channel. Don't leave here. Just right-click on it, and it'll open it up in a different window, and you can check out his channel. He just talks about how to get better, how to improve your credit. So really, really important for us to improve our credit, especially if we want to get certain credit cards. Janelle, what's going on? Thank you for stopping by. And Tim Williams, what's going on? Good to see you. Saul, what's going on? Good to see you. P. Gill, what's up? Bruce Law, how you doing, buddy? And Joseph, what's going on? A lot of people in the house today. Good. Let's see. Kenny, what's going on? Thank you for stopping by. Jessica, how you doing? Morgan, what's going on? Ryan, what's going on? Good to see you. Alliance Mortgage, what's going on? Edward, how you doing? Kevin Jackson, what's up? Just keeps going and going and going. All right, here, let's see, and we'll go back. If you guys have questions, I will come back to find. If you have a question specifically for Dustin, just put Dustin or at Waller's World. Wait, hold on. I'm getting stuck. Okay, and look, your screen moved again. You know what I'm talking about when it kind of jumps off. It just jumped off on me. All right, Andrea, what's going on? Thank you for the super chat. How to get 800 credit score. Thirsty Lion, what's up? Flashpoint, what's going on, buddy? Hip, what's up? And
what's up,
Explore
everybody?
Informed, yeah, what's up, everybody? For the most part, and I don't know why our screen is you keep moving on my screen. Man, this is bothering me. Okay, so we'll go ahead and go to questions. If you see any questions that you want to answer, you can go ahead and check them out, and I will peruse the questions as well, and we'll pull up some questions here.
The YouTube always does that thing where it just moves your comments when you have one like picked out.
Yeah. I don't know what that's all about. They need to fix it because it just bothers me. And then people are like, "Well, what? What do you mean?"
There's a question earlier on from Ryan Dennis, and Ryan goes, how do we get over the hump with credit scores? I'm currently sitting at a 660 and not growing, so I can qualify for these cards without worrying about being denied. And Ryan, like, I personally think this is a pretty common question with people who are either early on in the game or someone who maybe is recovering from credit issues. My first thing would be is if you're kind of going through the motions and you're not growing, I would take a look at your current setup. What's your utilization rate? What's your payment history? Because those two right there are roughly 2/3 your credit score. You want that utilization low. I know depending on what you read, people are going to say, you want some credit, some utilization being reported. I think at most mine being reported is like 1 or 2%. That's a huge chunk of your credit scores at utilization. Mm-hmm. If you're not growing there, I think what you need to do then is maybe not look at these premium reward cards because you're setting yourself up. You're right for a denial. I would look at some of these, I don't want to say secure cards, but some of these mid-tier cards, something that maybe you can convert to a premium card later, something that kind of gets your foot in the door with these banks. I'm not like at 660. American Express, I wouldn't is a pretty friendly on their charge cards at that credit score. Not necessarily saying that's the way to go, but like a Discover, Capital One might even be interested there, like maybe for their no fee cards. But I would look at those factors there. If you're doing everything right and you're not growing, you're probably going to need to have maybe more history as well. So those are kind of the factors I would look at for Ryan. What do you think, David?
Yeah, and you can also look at some other credit cards like the airline branded credit cards, the hotel branded credit cards. You might be able to get one of those or both of those. Like I always tell people, and I know a lot about Chase because that's the ecosystem that I work out of. And I always tell people you're going to need a hotel branded credit card. You're going to need or you're going to want a hotel and an airline branded credit card if you do want to travel. So
Right.
look at some of the Chase cards that are out right now. You can look at the United Explorer card, the Hyatt card, the World of Hyatt card. They have a lower bar when it comes to your FICO score and everything else. They can approve you for a lower credit limit. So look at those cards, and then that's kind of a foot in the door with Chase. And then once you have that foot in the door, use that card the right way, pay it off every month, and put some spend on the card, then pay it off every month. And then maybe you'll be able to qualify for like a Chase Sapphire Preferred or a Chase Sapphire Reserve in the future.
Right.
But those are good cards, and you're going to want to get those cards anyway, so you're not really wasting a slot. Like
Right.
my only gripe with like the Capital One is like if you get a venture card or one of the cards with Capital One, first they're pulling from all three credit bureaus, and you might not want to stay with Capital One, right? You might not want to use them as your primary ecosystem. So if you're looking at Chase has a good ecosystem, and so you can look at some of those cards there. That would be my advice when it comes down to it. Okay, let's see if we have other questions here. Okay, and I went all the way back up to the top here, so let me work my way down here.
There is one here. It's been asked a few times. Alliance Mortgage Lending.
Okay.
Looking to apply for the Barclay Aviators Business MasterCard. What other non-Chase business cards good to go after while you're still under 524? You want to start that one, David?
Let's see. Oh, I just got, hold on. We got a super chat, but I'm trying to, okay, Hip, what's going on? Thank you for the super chat, buddy. Thank you for the super chat. And I didn't hear your question, Dustin, because I was looking for the super chat. I'm like, where's the super chat? It doesn't have a name at the top here, so I had to go all the way down. Okay, TC click. The click is awesome. Cool, man. Yeah, so what was the question? I'm sorry.
It's from Alliance Mortgage Lending. Says they're looking to apply for the Business Aviator MasterCard. What other non-Chase business cards are good to go after while you're still under 524? You want to start with that one?
Non-Chase business cards. That's the key right there, non-Chase. All my business cards are Chase. I mean, obviously you have American Express. They have some business cards there. I'm not that familiar with them. As far as what cards to get. I'm wondering why you say non-Chase, though. Is there a reason why you don't want Chase business cards? Because they have some really excellent ones. Or maybe you already have them. I don't know. But those Chase Ink cards are amazing business cards to consider getting. So, yeah, I can't really give input on the business cards that I can think of that aren't Chase. What about you?
So I would say one, if you're under 524 with business cards in general, the only ones that are going to count against you if you were to apply for a Discover business card, a Capital One business card, or even TD Bank, because those are going to get reported to your personal credit. Any other business credit cards aren't going to affect your 524 status. So if you're if you're over 524, it's not going to matter. But if you're under, it doesn't matter either. For me, if you're looking for a good like a daily non-bonus spend card, the Blue Business Plus from American Express is fantastic. Double membership reward points up to $50,000 a year. And those are ability to transfer out to partners, which are great. The Aviator Business MasterCard is good. I would be cautious if you're like a sole proprietor though, because they have been really hard on people asking for extra paperwork and coming back and pulling the application or closing your card afterwards. So I would be cautious on that alliance if that's what you're looking at. Outside, I mean, man, I'm trying to think of the other one. Citi Aviator's pretty good. I mean, if you're looking for an AA card, Citi's pretty easy as well. But American Express has good ones. Citi doesn't really have any. I'm trying to think of the other ones I have here in my setup over here.
How many cards do you have, by the way?
I counted between me and my wife. I think we have like 46 right now active cards. I've been on an opening spree recently. Um, but they all have their purpose, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
If there are no fees, I really have a hard time canceling them
Yeah, that, well,
just
there's
because
no
they help
reason
you
to
with that
cancel.
age.
Yeah.
Um, I'm trying to think of other business cards that I've seen in the past that I've opened up. City AA would be easy, would be good. If you're good with Chase, I would still go for Chase. But if you're over,
Yeah.
American Express is pretty good as well, especially if you can hit some of those spends. I know I'll think of one in like 2 minutes, but when we're going through other questions, but
Yeah, no worries.
those are the kind of look at. I think those are really good opportunities there.
Yeah. And I guess he's saying he's still under 524, so the
Yeah, if you're
chase
under,
cards
if,
they're still a play unless he already has all those chase cards. But I'm just saying, just looking at cards right now, when it comes to business cards, I think the Chase ecosystem, the Chase business cards, those ink cards are really, really valuable. You're getting
oh,
80,000
I
points
agree.
with the Chase Ink Business Preferred. You're getting
Mm.
50,000 point sign up bonus with the Chase Ink Unlimited and 50,000 sign up bonus with the Chase Ink Cash. That's
Mm.
like an amazing three cards, and you can get all three of them. I have all three of them
Like
right
you could
now,
have a really good Chase trifecta just with the business cards.
just
Like
with
you
the
don't even
business
like
cards.
just with the business. You wouldn't even need the personal. I know people would still open them for like the bonuses and whatnot, but
Yeah.
like you could legit just have a Chase business trifecta and earn very, very well. There's
Yeah.
no doubt about that.
Yeah, and the only real drawback of not having the Chase Sapphire, I mean, the Chase Sapphire Reserve, yeah, you get the travel credit, but you're
Mhm.
not paying that $450 if you have the Chase Ink Preferred. So you're
Right.
only really missing out on that Priority Pass. So if you have another card that gives you Priority Pass, then I mean, you can just get those business cards, those three business cards, and really make out well. And they have
Right.
5 point categories. I mean, it's yeah, the Chase Ink Cash
That
has 5 point categories. It's an
that ink
amazing thing.
cash is undervalued in the world. I know we look at the
Mm.
preferred because of that big bonus, but that ink
Yeah,
cash is undervalued for
yeah.
5 points per dollar on, cell phone, cable, internet, office supplies, stores. I mean, if you
Yeah.
take, I don't know how many, do you use Visa Savings Edge?
No, I don't. Visa Savings
Okay,
as no.
so Visa Saving Edge, you can use it with a Visa business card, and they used to
Mm-hmm.
have Staples on there, and they actually have like hotel programs like I think Wyndham's on there, where basically you get a statement credit when you register your card with Visa Savings Edge,
Mm-hmm.
and you basically take your card. I've done it with some hosting stuff for like my website and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
where you just spend normally, and then you go through like a portal to earn points, and you'll get a statement credit on top of that, anywhere from like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8% depending on the category.
Oh
So
wow.
like
Okay.
it's just an extra way to earn extra rewards for stuff. And certain
Oh.
restaurants on there, like if someone who shops at like Panera, I think Panera is like 5%.
Uh-huh.
So like you have the Ink Cash, for example, you're earning double points at restaurants, right? Double points at restaurants. You're getting a 5% credit statement. So on top of that, so you can just really stack all these savings and earnings.
Wow, wow. That's amazing. Yeah. It's I would not bypass those chase cards unless you're
Not at
like
all.
blacklisted or something. You can't get any chase cards.
And if you're blacklisted
But
Alliance, let us know. Like that's a good
yeah.
story to hear from people because a cautionary tale as well.
Yeah, how you got there, like what? Yeah, and that's what it's all about. Where we're we're one big family, so we share
That's right.
our successes as well as our mistakes here. Let's see. Oh, so Alliance, he's saying he is getting the ink cards too. Yeah,
Okay.
and if you haven't so you haven't gotten those cards yet, I would start just getting those cards first, and then you can work your way. Like I said, I'm not too familiar with a lot of the other business cards that are out there, but the ink ones I do have, and I think they're excellent cards. I also got the United Explorer ink card too, so I
That's
like that
going.
one. Yeah. Okay, let's see if we have more questions here. Let's see. How to get 800 credit score says, Dustin, what do you think about the revamped Amex Green that so many YouTubers are vlogging about? So, what do you think about that Amex Green?
I think it's funny, and I think this is just a thing that we all do, right? Because you want to be like the first on something
Mm-hmm.
because it draws it in. But until it's initially announced, I'm kind of holding off personally to doing any video on it. I
Yeah.
know I did something like, but I think if the rumored is true, it really elevates American Express even more.
Mm-hmm.
Because what this does and what American Express does, like you look at the Chase trifecta, and Chase is a really good way of buying you into the ecosystem. But what they do is you basically now you do need a premium card, such as the Preferred Reserve or the Ink Preferred to transfer your points.
Uh-huh.
You don't need that with American Express. But one thing that American Express catches you on is all those damn annual fees.
Mm-hmm.
And this is no different. But if you're gonna get it, if the Amazon Prime membership is true and the card is only a $95 fee, and you're someone who has a Prime membership, then this card's really a no-brainer to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's $120 a year for an Amazon Prime membership, and it's only $95 a year for this card. Plus, you're gonna earn 4 points per dollar on gas.
Oh, we froze a little
And
bit.
streaming services, which to me is less of a benefit.
Oh, that's what it
We
is.
froze?
It's the
We back?
free. Yeah, you're back. Every time you freeze, it moves
Okay.
it moves our little. There you go. Now you're back. All right.
But I think for 4 points per dollar on gas purchases, that's great
Yeah,
because now you
absolutely.
start looking at cards like that compete with Chase, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chase doesn't have a card. Like the only way you can do that is you have to go buy a gift card with your 5 points per dollar, and it adds up, like just time wise, right? So you have to
Yeah.
take time. You risk potentially something being drained on it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just issues with that. And if you could earn 4 points per dollar, that's great. And membership reward points are super valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I like the green card refresh rumors. I won't believe it. I think we just saw today they just dropped information that it's going to be made out of like recycled plastic from the ocean, which
Yeah.
is great.
Yeah.
But I want to know more about the card. Like, when's the card coming? Later this year doesn't help me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Just
they've
put
been
you in
really
limbo.
milking this.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, and yeah, we do want to get. We're working on YouTube here, right? So if we
Yeah.
get it out first, then hopefully we'll hit that YouTube algorithm and just fly with it. And so there is a sense of urgency, but I agree with you, Dustin. We should wait until all the details are out there
It's funny. I
to talk
actually
about.
did. I was over in the Czech last year, and I had read a blog post and I had seen a couple of data points as well. Like the city premiere is supposed to be going away. And I was like, holy crap, I got to get on this. So
Hmm.
like there's all this stuff. So I posted a video like rumor going away. And then sure enough, the premiere is still around over a year later. So when I did that, I'm like, people appreciated that the information came out, but like what value did that add for people?
Yeah, and
So
then in
like
the future, are they gonna listen to you when you say
right. So like
the
I
next thing?
personally have held off on posting a video on rumors because while it's great and it brings people in, like if I post a video on rumors and it's wrong, it just people aren't going to listen. So if you wait and then you're like, okay, it's right, I'd rather get it right than like just be first. Being first doesn't help you
Yeah.
if you're wrong.
Yeah, it doesn't unless you're right.
Right, absolutely. If
If
you're
you're
right, you're
first and
golden. If
right,
not,
yeah, you're golden. But if you're not, and I kind of jumped ahead on the Equifax thing. How everybody was talking about. Yeah, you file your claim and you'll get what was it, $125 or something like that for.
yeah, now you got to do some other loophole
Yeah,
crap
now there's
for it.
other loopholes, and now
Like,
they're
come
saying it's not
on.
going to be really 125 because you have to look at they have to spread it out throughout whoever's filing these claims. So I'm out there saying 125, and now
Hmm.
realistically, it's not going to be 125.
Yeah,
So, but you want to get it out there, and you get it out there,
you
and then
do.
you kind of put your foot in your mouth. So that does
Yeah,
happen from time to time.
it does.
Okay, so Julio's saying that he's blacklisted from Chase, and we talked about this before, Julio, but I can't remember what the reason. If you want to share with us the reason, that would be great, and maybe we can talk a little bit
Absolutely.
about it. Let's see here. Nate and Jess is saying that Hyatt should have a business card. I agree. They should.
I would love to see Hyatt have a $450 card that competes with the Aspire.
Oh, that would be amazing.
I really I know they have a smaller footprint, but like their customer service is amazing. I
Hmm.
give Hyatt huge kudos for expanding the small luxury hotel collection, purchasing Thomas hotels. They're really doing a great job bringing in these boutique style hotels that offer some really good value and some upscale feel.
Hmm.
So like you bring in a premium credit card that earns better rewards, maybe gets you, if you look at like like right now, I think like the gold, like the best hotel credit card on the market is probably the Hilton Aspire card.
Hmm.
Not saying you got to give away globalist status because that's, if everyone has status, nobody has status, right?
Yeah, that's true.
If you
They'll
give
just
the
have another
ability,
status.
yeah, like if you give up like if you give the ability to spend upwards to it, and not like with the card now where you got to spend like $200,000 something to get it with the credits, the 5 night elite status credit after so many dollars it was spent.
Uh-huh.
But like give an extra, maybe give me an ability to earn a category 7 or category 8 hotel certificate as opposed to
Yeah.
just a 4. There are people who might take it. I mean, you're a big Hyatt fan, so would you be will you know what I mean? Like, would you take advantage of like a premium card with like a Hyatt credit? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And some of
Yeah.
these other abilities.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
would
I would
definitely
love to see
take
him
it.
get into that.
I would. You're kind of choppy a little bit. He's coming from your
Oh,
Maine, right?
yeah, I live outside of Bangor. Yeah.
Okay. You're the first person I've ever talked to that lives in Maine.
I think I'm the only person in the area I know in Maine that does this stuff because
Yeah.
anytime I try to talk to somebody, their eyes just glaze over and they're like, no.
So he's all the way on the other side of the country. That might be why, our internet connection isn't as strong. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, no, I've never talked. So how is it in Maine? Let's talk a little bit about where you live. I think that's interesting. What are your travel destinations out there? I don't know anything about Maine. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Seafood's, I mean, the lobster's really good out here.
Mhm.
Um, as far as like for traveling, we have like 3 options, I think, for airlines. We have Delta, which basically holds us hostage most of the year. We get
Mhm.
American, which my wife really hates flying because they're always late. We're put on crappy planes out of here. So
Hey,
like,
they got a 5-star rating. Just I just saw
yeah,
that
what a
recently.
load of crap that is. Um, I think I tweeted like a 5-star joke. I'm like, if that's the case, give Spirit Airline a 5-star
Yeah,
rating too.
the tweets were the funniest though. The people
Oh,
commenting.
it's so ridiculous.
Uh,
We get United seasonally, and then like we have Allegiant, and I'm like, I'm not interested in flying Allegiant. So like,
uh,
I typically have to reposition us to either New York or
okay,
Boston,
okay.
because flights out of Bangor, like for example, are so expensive. But if I book 2 round trip tickets from like Bangor to New York to where I'm going, it's a
Hmm.
fraction of the cost, either in points
Hmm.
or in cash price. So
Okay,
I
so
kind of
talk
use our
talk a
some
little bit
more.
about, so just so people understand what repositioning is.
Yeah,
So you have a smaller airport, or is that a large airport?
it's a
In
small airport.
small airport.
Sorry, I just unplugged my
Yeah,
charger.
no worries.
Um, Give me 2 seconds. Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
no worries. We'll give some more shout outs. Nika, what's going on? Thank you for stopping by. Wade, how you doing? Let's
All
see
right.
who else is in our building. And Jason, man, I apologize. I see flashpoints in here. Apologize, man. I couldn't bring you in. I'm gonna have to figure. I know there's a way you can do like a group call. I just don't know how to do it. So, yeah, we'll figure that out, and we'll have you on, and we'll have everything dialed in right. Okay, so
Okay.
the repositioning. Let's talk a little bit about that because
Sure.
some people might not be familiar. I'm fortunate that I live in Southern California. There's airports everywhere, but if you do have minimal airports,
Right. So like my airport here is smaller than like a Target. Like it's super small. Um, so basically, repositioning is finding an airport, is moving to a different airport to set yourself up for better travel. It could either be for fewer points. Maybe you want to fly a premium airfare, like a premium cabin with a better cabin experience. Let's say like you want to fly the you know Etihad Residence or something like that.
mm-hmm.
So you fly into a bigger airport to just reposition yourself for that opportunity to fly something better. So like we spend fewer points by, let's say, positioning to New York for a day, spending the day
Mm-hmm.
in New York, and then using a separate itinerary to fly over to Europe or wherever you want to go, and as opposed to just booking it right from your home airport.
Mm.
So sometimes you have to spend a night over in another area, but a lot of the times, like if you look at these, like if, for example, I don't know if anybody's been paying attention to cash fares, but like JFK to, we'll say, Madrid is like, I've seen like $240 like round trip. It's basic economy, but like we'll just go 240.
Mm-hmm.
But out of Bangor, that would be like a $900 ticket. So
Okay.
like, but a round trip from me to JFK is like $100.
Mm-hmm.
So I would reposition at $100 round trip and then pay the 240 as opposed to spending 900 from Bangor.
Got it. Got it.
So by making two separate itineraries, by positioning myself to New York to basically as my starting point for my separate ticket,
Mm-hmm.
it lowers my cost exponentially.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Okay. Let's see. So we had some comments. I know.
Let me
Where
go
was
back to
that
some.
comment that we had? I know we had a comment about Chase. Someone else said they were blacklisted. Let's see. So Jay Gamble said, I got blacklisted by Chase from when I was 22, 14 years later, with a 780 under 524. Still can't get one. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I would look at maybe going in branch or doing some business with them, like getting a checking account or something if you can do that, and then maybe work your way back in. Because if you have a 780, you should be fine as long as as long as you have a
They should
job. And
they should give you some love.
yeah, they should give you something. So I would look into doing that if I were you, Gamble. Let's see other questions.
There was. I'm going back. I know you're down towards the bottom. I'm going back up into it because
Yeah.
there was a few. Let's see. Nathan just asked, do I have or plan to get the Hilton Aspire card? I do have the Hilton Aspire card. I actually upgraded that from the Hilton Surpass, which was the Ascend card, and then moved back to the Surpass card. Um, and when I upgraded that, they currently my fee's still $95, but I did upgrade it. I have the card. It's giving me a lot of benefit, and at $95, it's plans to stay in my wallet in rotation.
Okay. Let's see. I noticed our little bot is not working today. Let me see if I can get that thing to go. Man, people are missing out on points. I don't want that to happen. So let's see if we can get that back in action
Let's
here. I'll try
see.
to reset it. I
Let's
got
see.
all
How to
these
get an
things going on. Go ahead. Go ahead.
how to get an 800 credit score ask, what do I like most about the altitude reserve? I really like the fact it earns triple points on mobile wallet payments. I like how easy it is to redeem the points. Even their portal redemptions, while I know you can use mobile rewards, that's not perfect. Their portal actually is like really good pricing for airfare through their travel portal. And for me, that's a really big one. So I just like the simplicity of it. It's super easy. It's great reward earnings, and for me, how I travel, it works out well.
Okay. All right. So we got that back up. Hopefully that works. It'll start doing something in a few minutes, hopefully, maybe 10 minutes. Okay, other questions here. Let's see. So what? So you said that you mentioned something about Delta. What's your airline of choice?
I mean, domestically, if I'm gonna go domestic, I like Delta. I
Okay.
feel like I really feel like I know their points. Some people like their points aren't the most valuable. I get it,
Yeah.
but that's
Pesos.
okay because there's other ways of using their points. But like these flash
Hmm.
sales have actually been, I think, pretty good
Uh-huh.
if you find the right deal.
Okay.
Domestically, I'm a big Delta fan just because I think their service compared to the other US 3 is really good.
Hmm.
Their planes are really nice comparative, and they're on time. I honestly can't remember the last time I flew American Airlines and was on time for anything.
Yeah, it's
I can't.
crazy. It's
And I don't
absolutely.
like it's getting to a point where it's like it's not even worth the mileage savings if I'm going to get there a day late. Like that ruins my trip. On the way home, I don't care, but
Yeah.
on the way out, I care.
Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing.
International.
Yeah, it's so amazing with American Airlines. It's. I mean, and United is not the greatest, but I use United because it fits with my Chase ecosystem. But it, American, to me, I just don't understand. I don't get it, and I would
Like
prefer to fly American if possible, but it didn't work, and so I haven't flown them in over a year. Yeah.
I think the last straw for my wife was when she flew home from Lisbon last year. Was it last year? Yeah, last year. And she flew on a plane, and I flew on the same plane coming home from Zurich. There was no power outlets. There was no, like, literally, there was no in-flight entertainment. There was no Wi-Fi. So you're staring at the back of a chair. You can't charge up your device. Like, what do they expect you to do on a long-haul flight when you have nothing to do? Like, there was
Yeah.
legitimately nothing to do. And she's like, this is terrible. And then, like, she was late. I got canceled. And she's like, I don't care if it costs more points or money. we don't fly American right now. And I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
it's
like,
just not.
so that's how I do it. And
Yeah, and my
as far
my
as
whole
internet,
thing, yeah, my whole thing too. When it comes down to it, I expect. I mean, things happen, so I
yeah,
expect flights to be late, flights to get canceled. But my big thing, and this comes with any kind of company that I'm dealing with, it's their customer service. How do you handle these situations? Are you handling it appropriately, or are you just like you just don't care? And
the big
so,
one, it's
yeah.
funny, like I think there's been a couple things, but we were flying back from Florida. We went down with my mother-in-law and her sister from Florida, and we had to divert. It was not we couldn't land in Bangor. We had to actually go to Manchester, New Hampshire, which we used to live there. It was that's not an issue.
Mm-hmm.
We land at like midnight. We sit on the tarmac for about an hour. Now we finally get to the gate and they pull us off and they say, "Okay, we're not flying back tonight. Downstairs are agents right now. They're going to get you set up with a hotel. We're going to fly back in the morning." So they're
Mm-hmm.
shuttling us off the plane.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not a soul in sight. By the time we all get off the plane now, it's 2:30 in the morning.
Uh-huh.
Like even rent a car stopped at 2 a.m. Like it just wasn't happening from this airport. And there's not a soul. I mean, legitimately, no, there's no agent there.
Yeah.
So then, 4:30 comes around, 4:35 in the morning. Now, mind you, I have I think at the time he was like 4 or 5 months old son. Like, and I'm like, this is not like cool. Finally, they roll around. And American Airlines is just like, well, here, we're gonna give you a voucher for a hotel. Your flight leaves at 9 a.m. And I'm like, hold on. You're gonna give me a voucher for a hotel to go spend like 2 hours in a hotel to come back over? I'm like, that
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense. It just didn't seem like they cared. And at
They
that
don't.
point, we're just like, I'm like, no, thanks, American. Like, you're just not worth the hassle.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like that goes so far. Like I understand mistakes. And if you just take care of the customers, then they're gonna still come back even because we all understand. A
Yep.
lot of things are out of your control when it comes to the weather, when it comes to
Oh,
just
totally.
different mechanical issues and things like that. Yes, I want you to fly on a plane that doesn't have any mechanical issues. So if there are mechanical issues, fix them. And I understand if that happens, you're going to want to fix it before you fly out. Totally understandable, but how you handle it, that's what it's just like I tell the story. I just told the story a couple days ago. And there wasn't any issue or anything, but I happened to be flying business class. I was flying on Hanan Air, which I had never flown on this airline before.
Okay.
And come to find out, like out of the rankings, like the Skytrax rankings, they were like seventh out of all airlines.
Okay.
And anyway, I'm flying back I was flying from Thailand to China, and then I was flying from China back to the States. And so
Mhm.
I had a long layover. And so the plane lands the plane lands at the tarmac, or on the tarmac, so you don't have a jetway to go straight in. So they
Right.
bring a bus out to you and all this stuff. Anyway, I'm flying business class. I had a good time. I had like 3 people waiting on you and stuff like that. So it was a real good experience, business
Mhm.
class, compared to United. Like United's Polaris experience, it was okay, 7 out of
Right.
10 maybe, but this was a lot better experience. Not to mention when I got off the plane. So I walk off the plane. There's a gentleman standing there with my name, and I'm we're on the runway.
Yeah.
He's got my name, and he escorts me over to this vehicle, takes me, like a private vehicle, takes me over to the airport
Mhm.
terminal. And I don't speak Chinese, so he walks me through the whole process. I had to go back through screening and then come through and walks me all the way to the lounge, and then said, "Hey, yeah, your next flight will be at whatever, what time it was." And I mean, that is excellent customer service. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
amazing. And that means a lot. So
Mhm.
that goes far. So the next time I fly in them, if they have a flight delay or something like that, I understand because it's like, yeah, you know what? They might have had a hiccup here, but they really took care of me here. I don't know. The customer service goes a long
It
way.
does. When I look to even go international, I try to avoid the big US 3, with the exception
Hmm.
of maybe Delta.
Hmm.
But I really try to avoid United, American, and even Delta if possible. Like,
Yeah.
one of my best experience was actually on Lufthansa and coach. Like,
Hmm.
I felt I got treated better in Lufthansa coach than I did in American Airlines business class.
Yeah.
Like, come on, really? Like, get with the
Yeah.
program, guys.
Yeah, it's a true. I think the expectation because I flew on Hainan Air Economy too. The
Yep.
expectation is so much. They expect so much more in with the foreign airline carriers, and I'm talking about the customers
Mhm. Oh, agreed.
than our legacy carriers. I mean, you're flying like I'm flying on Hainan Air Economy, and they're giving me an amenities kit. Like what?
Yeah. You,
Slippers and eye
I
mask
can't.
and like it's
I'm
amazing. Like
expecting United to send me a bill sometimes for sitting
yeah,
on a plane
yeah.
longer, so
Yeah, it's amazing. Hey, we got a super chat. Thank you very much, Hardy. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. Which is the best airline card? I'll let you let you chime in on what you
that's
think the best one is.
that's that,
Now that we
that's a
badmouthed,
loaded question, right? Because the best is so subjective. You
yeah,
know, as much as as here I am crapping on American Airlines, their ability to use American airline miles on partners such as Japan Airlines or Japan Airlines, Cathay Pacific, things like that. Their miles are very versatile and very valuable in that sense.
hmm
Delta, if you're a domestic flyer, I think Southwest is really good if you can get that companion
yeah, absolutely,
pass. International, United for the fact they don't pass on fuel surcharges, they're really good. So I
yeah,
mean, it really depends. That's just a loaded question. I mean, they all have their pros and cons.
yeah.
Personally for me, Delta works out well because I get like the check bags and stuff like that. Um, but as far as miles, I don't know. We'll see with United, but I would probably either say United or American airline miles just for the fact they're so versatile with their
Yeah.
partner, like their alliance partners.
And being that I know Hardy and his lifestyle, he likes to fly to Colombia and some South American countries, Central American countries.
In that sense, Avianca wouldn't be too
Yeah,
bad.
yeah. Avianca
Like
is a good option, definitely.
it is a good option. They're transfer partners of a few different programs. I was
hmm
actually looking for an award booking flight a few weeks ago for my demonstrations, and it was
hmm
like 14,000 miles one way on Avianca when all the
hmm
other programs were like
Yeah,
17,500 or more.
yeah.
So
The
like
standard. Excuse me.
Avianca would be good as well for Star Alliance, and they don't pass on fuel surcharges, which is good.
Yeah. Another good card to look at, JetBlue. I like the JetBlue cards.
Yep, JetBlue's
They
good.
have some pretty good cards. Obviously, they're not flying all over the country yet, or all over the
Nope.
world yet. They will. They're planning on flying to Europe. I think 2021.
Yeah,
So once they get over, actually London. So once they get over to London, then they'll have a footprint there, and then they can fly out to some other destinations as well.
absolutely.
But yeah,
Uh,
JetBlue. I like as far as earn with JetBlue that the cards are pretty good.
yeah.
Alaska Airlines card is also a good one.
Oof, good
Yeah,
valuable miles there in
yeah,
Alaska.
very valuable. That's how I flew the Hainan Air. That business class, it was 50,000 miles for one way. So yeah, they
There's
have some pretty good
actually, who
redemption.
was it? It was a few months ago. I think it was Drew over at Travel is Free.
hmm
There was an article about, and this is like these super niche things with miles, but I think Hanan Miles, which is like transfer partner of Capital One,
hmm
has like some ridiculous cheap miles. You're on the West Coast, right? You're based out of California.
Yeah, California.
It's like super ridiculous low. I can't remember what it's like, maybe 30,000 or 40,000 round trip over to certain parts of Asia from the West
hmm
Coast using Hanan Miles on Hanan Airlines. So like it's super niche, but like it was such a good find. So
hmm
like because of the way their word chart is. So that would be actually not a bad one for you if you're flying Hanan again.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
They're. I highly recommend them.
yeah.
Let's see. Just looking through the questions here.
Let's see. Flashpoint, Jason over Flashpoint says,
Yeah.
"What's when you're planning a trip? How do you go about your searching process? Are you always flexible with your travel dates?"
hmm
I'm not always super flexible. Like I'm super flexible now in the sense that like for myself, I now stay at home with my son and I do YouTube. Like that's kind of like my job,
hmm
if you will. But my wife's schedule is a little bit harder because she has to put her vacation request in advance. And we kind of, well, whenever we find time and we put it in.
hmm
So it's not necessarily my travel dates are super flexible. It's that my destination is flexible.
hmm
And I'm willing to change things at the drop of a dime if something opens up. But my typical process is I always look at the cash fare because sometimes using my points at 1.5 cents per point or through a portal might be better. And I know some people like shy away from that, but I think it's important to look at. And then once I go there, I typically use Google Flights and I see what airlines fly to that destination. And I say,
hmm
okay, these are the airlines that fly there. These are the best partners that are going to make me get the best redemption for my points. And I just kind of work backwards and piece it together.
Yeah. And do you find, I mean, if you live somewhere else, do you think
Hmm.
you're able to get better value? Like, let's say if you lived in a major city, do you
Yep.
think it would be a lot easier to get better value with your points?
Yes and no. The only reason I say yes, definitely, because I'd have more options.
Mm-hmm.
But living in Bangor, if I were to fly United somewhere or Delta, I get super, and it's this is why I always say like the cent per point value is kind of doesn't hold as much value to me as compared to others, because if I were to use that, I would get like 2.5 cents per point on Delta flying over to Europe,
Mm-hmm.
which is completely overvalued. But because it's my ticket prices are inflated, it looks higher. But
No,
definitely
okay. Oh, I see what you're
more
saying. Yeah.
options. More options would be I would have more options in these larger cities, so I would get better value, I think, for my points overall.
Okay. Okay. All right. So we have a question about the altitude card or the altitude
Yeah.
reserve. Is there a downgrade path that you know of with that card?
I don't think so right now. I think people are trying to, and I don't think currently they're letting us to either a flex card or even the cash plus card. I know you can convert the flex perks card to the cash plus card because I've done it in the past. But currently I haven't read any successful data points of converting that yet downgrade path to anything else.
Okay. We have another question from Poophead. How long
I
did you
love the
guys? How long did you guys save your points when you first started this hobby before you booked your first trip? That's a good question. You want to answer?
Oh, that is a good question. I think it was probably 3 or 4 months because I was booking my honeymoon.
Mm-hmm.
But since then, I have like a stash of points I use. I have them in mostly flexible currency, although I have some airline specific. But like when I was saving, we actually did one of our better point redemptions was for Hawaii, and I flew 4 people round trip to Hawaii. But I saved those for about a year because I
Mm-hmm.
needed to save up enough miles. So up to about a year is how long I saved miles.
Okay. Yeah, with me, yeah, it was about a year. It was about a year before I took my first trip, and um, yeah, it
Felt
was
good,
about a
right?
year. Yeah, it was to Paris. That was my first trip using points, and I had at that time I had the City Premier card, the Chase Sapphire Preferred, the Advantage card, the
Hmm.
City Advantage, the $95 annual fee one. I just gotten the Chase Sapphire Reserve because I got that card as soon as they launched it. So I got the 100,000 sign. So I was looking at, I had it over like 300,000 points on before I booked my first trip. But it just
Hmm.
happened that way. Like I needed, and I think it's important too to kind of take time. I'm not saying get a bunch of credit cards at once. I'm saying take time and get credit cards as you need them, but
Hmm.
do your research before you start booking your flights and using your points because you can make some mistakes and you might find. I, I was just talking to a friend this about a month ago, and she was all excited because she got the Chase Sapphire Reserve. And
Yep.
she doesn't know anything about travel credit cards. She's one of my coworkers, but she watches my videos
Yep.
in my live streams, and she talks. We talk every once in a while, but I don't see her every day.
Yep.
So she was like, "Yeah, I just booked my trip," or she booked a trip. She had just come back. She was in Spain. She
Okay.
was all excited, and she was like, "Yeah, I used my points and all this." And she went through the travel portal. She had no idea how many points she used. It got her to where she needed to go to
Oh, this is
Spain,
heartbreaking.
uh, but she probably could have had a better experience. Being
Mhm.
that the points that she told me that she used, she could have had a better experience, most likely.
Uh,
Um, so it was one of those deals where I was like, you should have just called me and said, hey, I
yeah.
want to book this. So at least look to see what transfer partners will offer you compared to the travel portal. The travel portal sometimes will work out, but
Yeah.
sometimes you can get some better value when you transfer your point. And I was telling her she traveled with friends, but I was telling her you might have been able to fly like business class or first class at least one of those legs.
Right. When you
It's
hear
just
that,
like
people go, "Oh, it's so heartbreaking to hear."
yeah, but you know what? If they haven't flown and she has not flown business class, first class, she doesn't know what she's missing.
Right.
So I mean, and it's kind of sad to say, but like, yeah, if you haven't flown, then it doesn't make sense. But once I'm talking like a true first class or business class experience. going, travel 10 hours, lie flat seat, all that stuff.
Yep.
It kind of changes your your opinion
It
about
does.
it.
It's definitely nice for those long haul flights for
Yeah.
sure. I
Oh
definitely
yeah.
don't disagree.
But she was like, "Well, I have my friends with me," and I'm like, "Well, hey, they could sit and coach. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
You
the
just got to get
perfect
to the
setup."
destination. That's not your fault they don't have
Yeah,
points.
it's like the Seinfeld show. I watch that show all the time. Where Jerry's flying first class and Elaine's flying in economy, and she's having this terrible time, and he's up there, talking with supermodels and
Whining and dining it.
yeah. So you want to take that time to do your research to figure out, okay, what's my best value and how can
Right.
I use these points. Wardhacker.com is one of the sites that I go on to kind of give me an idea of what partners I can use
Yep.
to transfer points to and stuff like that. So yeah, do your research. Don't be in a rush. Get the cards and hit the sign up bonuses, and then kind of plan your your plan of attack, I guess you can say, before you
Mhm.
start booking stuff. Okay, let's see. What's up, TC and Waller's Wallet? Okay, so that was that. All right. I thought I saw another question. It looks like I can't find it right this second.
Let's see.
Do you go to Canada a
That's
lot
okay.
or at all?
No, it's on my list. I want to go to Toronto because it's a relatively short flight for us. We still have to connect to New York.
Mm-hmm.
But that's on my list to do. I won't do it in the wintertime because I need to get out of this cold place and go somewhere warm.
Mm-hmm.
But and maybe this spring next year, I'm looking to do like a weekend trip, a 4 or 5 day weekend trip over to Toronto.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I know Nathan just had a question similar to that. I apologize if I know you said something about Canada. I was trying to find it and I can't find it now.
I mean,
But it's
I
something
joke with my wife
similar.
all the time because she's from Maine. Like she's basically a Canadian. So like, because
Uh-huh.
we're halfway up the state anyways. But no, Canada is on my list of places to visit, especially Toronto.
Okay. Okay, cool. All right, let's see. We'll answer a few more questions here. If anybody has any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. Also, please hit the like button if you guys are in the building and you have not done so. It just allows us to promote this out to more people. And I was talking with Dustin earlier before we went live, and we want to do some more live streams together, and then having more people
Yeah.
in, do some collabs. It's always, and we were talking about this. It's always good to have like a community of people
Hmm.
in any niche or anything, to have people that are all like minded, and we're trying to play this game of points, right, and travel the world
Yeah.
and all that. So it's a fun environment to be here, just talking about points. Some people might look at this and be like, "What are you guys talking about?" But
Right.
it's a fun thing to do. So we want to have more of these, and I know Dustin does live streams as well. So I think this would be something that we can do. I just need to be able to bring Jason in and figure that out, and then bring some more people in too. And I think it'll be a good little thing that we can
Let's
get going.
see. There's a couple let's see this one here. Kyle says, "Do I know of any airline gift card that trigger the altitude reserve credit?" Um, I know Delta has. I believe American Airlines as well. Frequent Miler has like an ongoing spreadsheet or ongoing article showing what has triggered it. Someone even had. I don't think Southwest triggers it though, although I think they process their own. So I would definitely check out Frequent Miler. He has just Frequent Miler altitude reserve credits or what triggers credits or something like that in Google. That should pop it up, Kyle. He has like a long going since the card came out, a long going article with that. That's definitely worth looking at.
Okay, so Alliance Mortgage has a question, and I'm thinking
For
he's asking. He says, "What's your recommended application velocity with Chase or other banks?" So how often? I guess he's asking how often do you apply for credit cards? I think that's what he's
Yeah,
asking,
so
right?
like my like how like I guess I would recommend with Chase especially since people are just getting into if you're just getting in. I personally tell people no more than one application every 30 days
Mm-hmm.
because they're really getting tight. I know like the you can do two for 30, but the way that they have been really doing it, I would say a minimum of 30 days. If you're super worried about it, I'd wait 60 to 90, but definitely not more than anything faster than 30. People were getting shut down. I've had plenty of people reach out to me. They've done like two cards in one day to try to combine hard pulls, and like that second card's getting closed, and they're kind of saying like, yeah, you're not gonna get it right now. So with Chase, I really wouldn't mess around with that. Slow down on them as well.
Yeah, yeah, I agree, and actually, I'm even more conservative. I don't, I get cards when I need them, and I guess you're
Mhm.
going to need to get to that point. But I'd say every 3 to 4 months, get another card. And the way that I would do it, and when I first started, I would get a card, and I'd hit that sign up bonus. Usually, I'm not. This is one thing that's very important for people to understand when it comes to the travel credit card game. Don't
Mhm.
overspend. Spend you
Yeah,
do your normal spend.
absolutely.
So you're not changing it. The only thing that you're changing is the debit card. Is you're not using that debit card anymore. You're using a credit card. All the
Hmm.
same things that you purchase on an everyday basis. That's what you're going to use the card for, the credit card for. So
Hmm.
don't think, okay, I need to hit this minimum spend. Like you should already know, and maybe take a few months prior to to signing up for one of the cards. Find out how much you spend every month. And
Right.
then once you're there, then you know, okay, this is how much I spend. So there's no stress of, oh, I'm not going to hit that minimum spend. And then just spend the way you normally do
Yeah.
and hit that sign up bonus. It might take you 2 months, it might take you 3 months. And then once you hit that sign up bonus, then you reevaluate, okay, what card do I need now? Or what card do I want to get now? Do some more research on that card, get that card, hit the sign up bonus, and then you can kind of move on like that. For me, it took, like I was saying, I think I got 4 cards in
Absolutely.
that first year. So that was kind of the routine. Every 3 months, 3 months or so, I was getting a card. So yeah, it's a long game. You should be playing the long game. Don't play the short
Absolutely.
game and
Years
try to
ago,
go
a
ahead.
couple years ago, there was fewer restrictions on it. So that's why, like, when I say I have all these cards, I opened them years ago when Chase would give me two or three cards in a 30-day period, and they were more likely to do that. But now it's a completely different game. I'm more opportunistic. I wait for a big bonus. I play for a card probably every 4 to 6 months now, just because I have like a stash of points I use. I just kind of wait for. I'm not just opportunistic now, but I'm also in
Mm,
the late game.
yeah. All right. Looks like your screen has frozen. Hopefully
Oh, again,
that'll. I
that's
can
okay.
hear you fine. I just
That's
I'm
okay. I
just
don't
looking
you can see it.
at your face.
Let's see. Nate just asked the question, how many, I have a couple here. Let's see. How many cents would I value altitude reserve points? Nate and Jess for travel, 1.5 cents per point, altitude reserve points. It's, equal to the Chase Sapphire Reserve in that fashion.
Hmm.
For travel related purchases. So 1.5 cents per point. Um, Jay Gamble, do you have a video on how to transfer Sky Miles? I don't have a video per se on how to transfer Sky Miles. Pretty sure I have an award booking demonstration, Jay Gamble, on how to use like Flying Blue and Virgin Atlantic to reduce your costs on Delta flights. But I don't, okay, because you can't necessarily just transfer Sky Miles, but you can use partner and alliances and non-partner alliances to get better value.
Okay. Sorry about the cloud bot, guys. It looks like he's just not going to work today. I just reset him again. Hopefully, something will happen. I don't know
Evolving
if you know.
constantly.
I don't know if you know Dustin, but they can earn points just by watching, and it looks like it's not operating today. So I apologize, guys. I will make it up to you guys. I promise. Okay, let's go ahead and see what other questions we have. If we have any other questions here,
Let's
and then
see.
we'll.
I'm going back up. So what do I think of international flights with Delta? I, you know, I think they're fine, for comparative to other airlines. Like they're not the best, they're not the worst. I actually feel like their service has gotten better over the last year or two for international like for the long hauls. And I'm flying over to Amsterdam and next in a couple weeks, and I'm pretty happy with it. Like I'm excited for it, just because like they've really gotten better. Their seats, I think, are pretty comfortable as well. So I think they're good. I think I think they've done some good improvements.
Okay. Let's see. Poophead has a question.
I love the name.
Yeah. I'm at 424 with Chase and was wondering if you think it's better value to fill the slot with the Chase Unlimited or the World of Hyatt. Okay,
Mhm.
so World of Hyatt all the way. If you have some type of a business, sole proprietor, you sell on eBay, you sell on Amazon, you do something, you make money outside of your normal job, you might qualify for a Chase Ink card.
Mm-hmm.
My advice is to, if you do have something that you do outside of your normal job, um, apply as a sole proprietor, use your social security number, and try to get some of the Chase Ink cards, because it's not going to fill that slot. So if you're 424, you can get a couple of Chase Ink cards. You can get all three if you want, and then you can move over and get the World of Hyatt card. I would not get the Chase Unlimited card. I'm not really a big fan of that card. I know they had the little promotion, and I don't know if that's still going, but yeah, it's all, the promotion's only for good for a year, and it's 3%, so 3 points for every dollar spent up until, is it 25,000 or something like that. But it's only 1 year. Then after that, it's 1.5. You know, that's it. So, I'm not a big. I'm more of a fan of getting like the Chase Ink Unlimited. It just gives you better value. You get the sign up bonus, the 50,000
Mm-hmm.
sign up bonus, which will get you going, right? And it's better than getting that 3% with the Chase Unlimited. And then, you can. It's the same card basically. It's the same card, but the business version. But you get a sign up bonus. Okay, what do you think?
All right. So I'm going to throw this out there first. I think we're going to see Chase change the rules and have the ink cards count towards 524 at some point within the next 6 to 8 months. Mark my words
This is
on
a
it.
prediction.
This is a prediction here. You're hearing it here. They're going to change the rules because we this, the blogs talk about this, and I think Chase won't count non-business other business cards, but soon we're going to see them count Chase
Yeah,
ink cards towards 524. Hope I'm wrong, but that's what I think is going to
yeah.
happen.
So get them now.
Um, that's right. But as far as which one to get, I agree. I like the World of Hyatt card. If you can't get a Chase ink card for whatever reason, and I think Chase has gotten more strict on this, but they're still good on it. Like you can still do it. Like if you can't get the Chase ink unlimited, I am a bigger fan personally of flexible currency um over like hotel or airline specific.
Hmm.
Um because of the longevity. Like I've had this hunch for a while. Like Hyatt points are so much more valuable than next currency. Like if they were to devalue to a point to where they're worth like 1.5 cents per point over 2 cents per point on average, right? In that ballpark, they're still more valuable than Marriott, but it still hurts us.
Yeah.
But if you have ultimate reward points, it gives you the ability to use them elsewhere. So I agree 100%. I would look to get the ink cards first. And then I would say if you don't stay at Hyatt too often, I would, as much as I don't care for the way the bonuses on the unlimited card right now, I personally would put my eggs more in the UR basket over the Hyatt basket.
Okay. Yeah. No. And that's, yeah. I see where you're going with that. I
Yep.
definitely agree. And then also too, like I personally say Hyatt because I really like Hyatt. But
Yeah,
if you
absolutely.
don't
No, I
like
agree with
Hyatt,
you.
or if you've had bad experiences with Hyatt, then yeah, it's probably not a good. It probably won't be a good fit for you. There could come a time where I have a bad experience and the customer service just changes, or the whole company changes. They get bought out by someone, and their
Mm-hmm.
whole mission statement is different.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of stuff can happen, and I do agree with you, Dustin. Like
It's
having the flexible points will allow
mhm.
you just to do that much more.
But I
And
love my Hyatt credit card. Like me and my
yeah,
wife both have it. We have the older one, not the new World of Hyatt one, because I don't.
yeah,
It's not worth the 5,000 points upgrade to me.
yeah,
But like, it's a great card. I love it. It stays with us. It's worth its $75 fee, and it's gonna stick that way till
yeah.
they do something to make me cancel it.
And
So
another good thing. I mean, these are you're talking about, and we're talking about cards that are kind of at a different level too, because you're talking
yeah.
about an unlimited, which is a zero annual fee card. It's pretty much a card that you're going to keep forever anyway, because you don't have to pay an annual fee, to a card that does have an annual fee. So that you have to
Mm-hmm.
take that into consideration. However, you're getting that free night. So this is a card that you're going to want to at least take one night out of the year and use it in
Yes.
order to get the value. But yeah, we're looking at cards that are kind of at two different levels. So at some point,
I agree.
it's really not that fair to compare the
Mm-hmm.
two. But if you're asking about the two and you're planning on traveling, I would go with World of Hyatt. But understand what Justin's saying. Those flexible points mean a lot because you can do so much more with them. All right. All right. Let's see. Kevin Jackson. Good night, Dustin. Okay, so you're saying good night. I don't know how much time you have left, Dustin. Just let me know. We'll just kind of
Oh,
play
I
by
got
ear.
plenty of
Yeah.
time. I'm
Okay. I mean,
everyone's asleep. I got plenty. Like we can talk points all night.
yeah, you're East Coast time, so
I'm East
over
Coast.
here it's not
I'm
late.
going
So
strong still.
all right, so just let me know, man. Just let me know.
All
Wild
right.
Walker, what's going on, buddy? What's the best strategy to meet Chase business cards? Um, I mean, you have to have a business, right? So
Yeah.
that's your thing. And just like I said, there's certain businesses that they will allow. So they're looking for you to be making money outside of your normal job. So if you do have like an eBay business or you're making and you don't have to make a lot of money in this business. You can mow
Mhm.
lawns or whatever, but they are looking for that. I think at some point they probably will start cracking down a little bit
Mhm.
on what they're allowing as a business. But for right now, they will allow you to do sole proprietor. So you can just use your social security number. So it's tied to your personal credit and all that.
Right.
So
Yep.
let's see. Any other questions, guys?
Let's see. Gary has one says, "What do you recommend for a one-way flight from New Delhi to LAX? I have a lot of American Express points or Chase points." Gary, without looking at any availability, I would first start with the cash price of tickets. Usually one ways are more expensive, but I would still take a look and I would say, okay, when you're looking at that in Google Flights, take that number, look at the opportunities too that are flying there. I think was it United that just announced they're going to start flying nonstop or something like that to New Delhi? So I think
Um,
one of them did. So like it might be worth looking to fly over to like San Francisco, then hop back into LAX if you're looking for more of a more direct flight.
yeah,
But I would look there. Like it's a loaded question without knowing availability. Star Alliance could be good. Um, you know, let's see, Star Alliance. You still have One World. So I would take like it's just that's just a loaded question without knowing that availability. But that's what I would kind of do there.
okay, so let's see. Lyndon from How to Get an 800 Credit Score. He's got a question for you.
Sure.
Janelle has a 770 FICO score. TransUnion
Okay.
credit history is 4 months. When can she get a travel rewards card, and which one should she apply for? Yeah, that's
So that's tough because like you're not going to get a Chase card with a credit history of 4 months. Like you're gonna need at least a year, right? So
mm,
like Chase is off the board now. Um, American Express might be willing just because like I feel like American Express is easier compared to other banks,
yeah,
but 4 months is still really young. I personally wouldn't even attempt it just because like she? Sure, her credit score is great,
yeah,
but her credit history is so new she might just want to wait a little bit. And when it gets closer to it, closer to that 1 year mark, I would look for it. If she's itching at the bit, Capital One, maybe American Express, but I would stay away from Chase.
yeah. Or just get into just get an account. I don't know
Yeah.
what accounts you have, banking account, something, and then they will start sending you. You'll kind of know because they're going to start sending you these. Hey, you can get this credit card. Like so let's say you have a Chase. Let's say you do just try this out. Get a bank account with Chase and see if
Mhm.
they give you any offers. And if they're sending you
Yeah,
offers, maybe you have an opportunity. Same thing
absolutely.
with Wells Fargo, Bank of America, um, U.S. Bank, get that altitude card. So
Yeah.
you can, and I don't know, you probably already have a relationship with the bank. So look at those cards, what they offer, and then you might be able to go from there. I would, personally say Chase, getting a relationship with Chase first because you're gonna probably want to get those cards first if you do want to get a number of different travel credit cards. If you only want to have one travel credit card, then it doesn't really matter. But if you do want to get a number of different credit cards, maybe get a bank account with them or checking or like yeah, get a checking account with them and then see where
Hmm.
that goes and see if there's any offers. Another thing, I have like the Experian. I pay for the credit tracker thing. They're always sending me stuff, Nerd Wallet and stuff like that. They're the same way.
Yes.
They will always send you the hey, you might qualify for this card, you might qualify for that card. So that's not saying just because they're pre-qualifying, that's not saying that you're automatically going to get that card, but it'll give you an idea of what they're thinking about your credit history and everything. So
Absolutely.
just something to think about. Let's see other questions, guys.
Let's see.
So yeah,
What is
Alliance has a question right here. What's the best strategy to get the most sign-up bonus points with the various Hilton cards?
uh you want to take that one? You want to take? You want to go
You
first?
you can go ahead and take that one. I don't have
Okay.
any Hilton cards.
Okay, so with the like the best strategy is like we've seen with the Aspire card and like the Surpass card and even non-bonus card, we've seen like these big bonuses. One thing we currently see with like constantly seen with American Express over the last couple of years, and I'm knock on wood, it sticks with it, is the ability to upgrade downgrade. So if you have like I have the Aspire now, but if in a year I don't want to pay the fee, I downgrade, we'll say, to the no fee card. And a year later, they'll send me an upgrade offer with basically no hard pull, but a full sign up bonus after I meet the spend requirement. So I would look to see what your immediate need is for Hilton. If you're going to be booking a lot of Hilton stays, I'd say look at the Aspire. The Diamond status is great. You get the credits, the lounge access, things like that, which are great benefits if you don't already have them. If you only have like one or two stays, I'd probably look at the Surpass card just because of the fact gold status is probably the best mid-level hotel status I think on the market. And if you're just looking to earn Hilton points, the no fee card. Outside of that, you have cards like the Virgin Atlantic credit card, the Hawaiian Airline credit card, and the Amtrak credit card. Those will actually transfer over to Hilton as well at a pretty favorable ratio. Virgin 5. So this whole Amtrak is at a 1-to-2. So if you're kind of running out of those options, you can have big bonuses in those cards as well.
Okay, we got a good question here.
Sure.
They're asking, and this is Kyle asking, what's the best redemption you've ever had on a trip? So, what has been your best redemption?
So this is more like I actually did a video on this one recently, and it's more like I won't call it like sappy, but like my wife and I actually had to do IVF for our son, and
Mm-hmm.
so like we redeemed a bunch of points to fly over to Brno to have IVF done. That's where we were last year, doing a lot of these trips. So like we redeemed a lot of points, and that way to like start a family. So to me, that was like the best redemption I could have made.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're looking more for like a cent per point value, I guess, because some people are into that, it was probably the best points outside of that, like starting a family, would be the Hawaii trip because we were able to fly 4 people business class on Hawaiian Airlines with that partnership for I think it was like 110,000 miles one way and $50. And Hawaii was
Wow.
fantastic. So like that was a really good deal. But those would probably be some of my top redemption values.
Okay. Yeah, my best redemption was was a mistake.
Those are the
um,
best ones. Those
yeah,
are the best ones.
and to this day, this was almost 3 years ago. This was my Paris trip. To this day, I have not been able to find this mistake again, and I might not ever be able to. But I got lucky. I was watching I was on the Points Guys blog, and
Yeah.
I had him on my Twitter, like my Twitter feed thing. So he sent out a tweet like 3 a.m, basically saying that I think there's a mistake, but they're showing at the Hyatt Regency Etoile, they're showing rooms for $21 a night,
Oh, that's a
and
good deal.
and so I'm like, what? And this was my first trip, mind you. I had not redeemed any points or anything like that, right? And so I jumped on the website, on the Hyatt's website, and I had no relationship with Hyatt. I had nothing. Like I didn't know anything about any. Like I said,
hmm
I was still in the earning stage,
Yep.
and so I looked on there. Sure enough, $21. Like I pulled it up and it said $21 a night. I'm like,
That's
wow, this
awesome.
is a mistake. So looking back on it, I should have booked more nights. I only booked
Yeah.
5. I don't know what I was thinking, but 5 seemed like a good number to me.
You were like, I'm a little nervous, so I don't
Yeah,
want
I
to
just
go
want to
too
see if
hard
it
on
works.
this.
So I booked 5 nights, and sure enough, it was a mistake. And the crazy thing about it is, I went back. So he put it out on Twitter, and then he had on his blog, he had a little article on it,
Mhm.
and then yeah, at the bottom of the article, you have the comments. So everyone's commenting below and said, "Hey, yeah, I got it. I got it." And then someone said, and it just pissed off everyone in the comment section. They said, "Hey, well, I called them, and yeah, it is a
Oh
mistake."
no, don't call.
Are
Don't
you
call.
kidding me?
Never, never.
So everyone's mad at them. They're writing back and forth, and so it ended up, yeah, it was a mistake. It was a big
Oh.
mistake. They said they had some type of a computer glitch. So I didn't respond. I mean, they didn't send anything out to us. I got my
Yep.
confirmation and everything, but I knew it had ended because of the comments on the Points Guy website, and
Yeah.
so I didn't do anything. I just waited. Didn't want to call. Of course, I'm not going to call. So I just waited.
Yeah.
And about a week and a half later, I get an email. And the email says that we had a computer glitch,
Huh.
but we're going to honor your trip.
Oh, that's
So,
nice. That's good
enjoy
service
your
there.
stay. Oh, yeah. And that's what I'm talking about. Customer service. That started me with Hyatt. And now you guys know why I always speak highly of it. I mean, because they easily could
Yeah.
have backed out of that. And the crazy thing about it is on that day when I booked it for $21, of course I'm curious, like how much are these rooms really going for? So I waited until after I saw that they closed it off, went back
Oh.
on there. Each night, $600, like
Oh yeah.
$640 a night.
You got a hell of a deal.
Uh,
Like that's you
yeah,
probably paid like just a tax. They probably had just
yeah, I
paid
was
you for
paying
like
the
basically
resort
like a
fee.
tax fee on it, and that's
Yeah,
it.
I was paying the resort fee. Probably not even that.
Yep.
So there I am. I have 5 nights in Paris. I had no idea how to get, like I didn't know how to use points or anything like that. But I had
Hmm.
this amazing experience I mean, it's $114 for my hotel for
Yeah.
all 5 nights.
That's awesome.
And so then I
That's
started to
awesome.
scramble and try to figure out, okay, how am I going to get there? So I used some points with American Airlines. At the time, I think I actually booked twice because I booked it right away just to make sure I had it. And I can't remember how many points I used to book the initial flight on American. This was when I was still flying on American,
Hmm.
and I was economy. And so what happened is after looking at my book, and I always recommend going to SeatGuru.com. And I'm not
Oh, I love
affiliated
that
with any
site.
of these websites that I'm putting out here, but it's very valuable to look at SeatGuru.com because they will give you information about where you're sitting and the benefits, good, bad, all that stuff. And
Right.
it's every plane. Like every plane is there. So all you're going to do is put in your flight number, so
Yep.
airline flight number, and the time that you're flying, and they'll show you the exact plane that you're going to be flying on. So I saw that my return flight, economy return flight, was going to be in the very very back, and I wasn't even thinking about it when I booked it. I was just like, okay, I want this, I want that, I want this, and I think there weren't that many available seats, so I just picked one. So I'm sitting in an aisle seat, the very back of the plane, right next to the restroom, the
Yep.
worst seat on the plane.
Yep.
And so at that point, I started thinking to myself, like, I don't want to. That's like over 10 hours. I can't do this. And so I started doing a little research, and this is when I said, you know what, I'm going to see how much a first class seat would be. And I think
Hmm.
at the time it was 70,000 for a first class seat, and I had
Yep.
just redeemed. Now, so this is not the best value redemption, but this is
Hmm.
kind of the best experience that I've had with the redemption. So it was 70,000 to fly one way back on
Okay.
British Airways. British Airways is not the best place to use your points because their taxes and fees are really really high,
Right.
but it was one of the options that I had. It was like the only option that I had to fly back, and so I booked it. So
Yeah.
70,000. I happened to get, like I just said, I just got that Chase Sapphire Reserve in August of the year prior, and I flew out in January. So
Hmm.
I got that 300 travel credit, and then I got another 300 travel credit right before I left. Because at
Yep.
that
That's
time they
awesome.
gave it, they like doubled it up, right? So when you got the
Hmm.
card, you got the 300 credit, and then you got it for the next year. Starting, was it 2016 or whatever? Then they gave you another credit. I think yeah,
Right.
no, 2017. So for 2017, I got the credit. So that helped soften the blow because it was like a $600 taxes and fees with British
Yeah.
Airways.
That's helpful.
Yeah, so it helps soften the blow. and I flew first class, and I'm telling you, that experience was something I will never forget. It has not been. I have not flown that good. Like even like business class. Like I've flown business class after that. I haven't flown another first class flight, but that first class experience was amazing. So that
Mhm.
was definitely my best redemption. Had a great time in Paris, and yeah, $21 a night, and
That's
that really got me like with
hooked.
Hyatt. That got me hooked. Like I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna make a commitment to them, see where it goes. But the fact
Hmm.
that they honored that, we're talking to 600. I know somebody lost their job for that. $600 a night.
That's a big screw up.
Yeah, that yeah. I don't that was crazy. All right, let's move on. Okay, we'll answer a few more questions, and then we're gonna have to call it. I really appreciate all you guys stopping by. You know, we had a
Yeah, this is
really good
great.
audience here, and Dustin, man, thank you for coming in. I know you got to be tired, man. You just got back
Yeah, we
from
had a long
overseas.
day, but it was good. I
Yeah,
tell you, I've flown through London Heathrow twice, and both times I've had to like haul it across the airport.
yeah,
But it's totally worth it. But like, no, thanks for having me on, man. Like, I really appreciate it. Like,
yeah. This
this
is
is awesome.
okay. So we'll answer a few more questions, like
Okay.
four more questions, and then then we're gonna call it. Let's see. My question was regarding minimum spend and have an eye. Okay, let's see. Where did that question come from? Will, maybe you had another question earlier. Do you see any questions specifically for you?
I
Let's
let's see. Let's
see.
go back up. Let's see. I have one for it says if the free. This is from Jay Gamble. Actually, there's one from yeah, this one here from Jay Gamble. Is the free Hilton night after 15K spend worth it? I wouldn't make would it would make much more sense to use 15K on three different sign up bonuses. Um,
Mm,
that's a good question. I think if you're someone who's loyal to Hilton and you don't want to spend, I personally would say if you're staying at Hilton that much to where you're wanting considering to spend that much money, I would honestly look at car to spend. But if you're not looking to spend that much and you just want and you're willing to do that, I think if you look at how much you're going to get value wise out of that certificate for a weekend night, it can be hundreds of dollars. I mean,
yeah.
I recently stayed at the Conrad in New York, the Midtown, and those can be expensive rooms. So, like, from a percentage point wise, you can get a lot of value from it. I think you're right, though. It would make sense to do that over three different sign up bonuses if you're going to open up a lot of cards.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Um, yeah, if you're gonna open that many up, I would say spend that over different cards because that's, what, five different bonuses at 3 grand a pop.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're staying there and you can get that free night, it wouldn't necessarily be a bad value. But I would definitely compare that to a 2% card to where you're staying. If you're burning that at like a Hampton Inn, it's probably not worth it.
Yeah.
You would really need to burn that at a high-end property to justify that $15,000 spend, I think.
Yeah. You want to try to maximize those points. So if you can, use those free nights at a place that is really worth that money or those points. Or how am I saying that? Use that where you can maximize. Like, yeah, you're staying somewhere where it's $500 a night or something crazy like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, try to redeem it
absolutely.
for as much as possible. Let's see if we have other questions. And it looks
Let's
like
see.
the bot is working, so I reset them,
Yeah.
so that's good. Let's see here. People are mad though because they were on here an hour and there was no points. Let's see. My question
Braveheart.
regarding. Go ahead.
Let's see. There's a couple from Braveheart. I'm just going through and I just
Okay.
see like I've just seen a couple of my name tagged on it too. Let's see. Braveheart has two. What cards? What's the cards that you've used to stack points or cash back? I typically stack my cash back and points with different portals. So I typically use Cashback Monitor. That's another website where it'll show you the best portals that give you the best payout. And
Mm.
then from there, I look at what credit cards give me the best return on that. Like currently, Ebates has been killing it for me as far as earning
Mm.
membership reward points. So like I'm typically looking at Ebates to earn membership reward points, and then using, for example, like I was using PayPal for a while for this quarter with my Discover card, earning 5% back.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm earning cash back and points. So those are kind of like the cards just really depend on where I'm shopping as well. Staples, it's going to get the ink cash. If
Mm-hmm.
it's, a travel site, it's going to probably end up being my altitude reserve.
Okay. Let's see. All right, my screen just jumped back.
I love when that happens.
Let's
uh,
see. End of the year coming is better. Chris is saying, with the end of the year coming, is there a better time to redeem points for international travel? Um, do you wanna take that? I think
yeah, I
it's
don't
like
know if
off
there's
peak
this.
time. I think he's asking probably.
What was that?
I think he's asking like off peak time. Is it a better value, like point wise?
You might find more availability. I would check, like, depending on what airline you're looking to fly. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it might be an American airline off peak, so you might save yourself some points. I would also think about the weather as well. So, like, if you're fine with being like, if you want to go to the Christmas markets, that's an opportunity potentially to look at that. Um, but if you start looking like colder weather times, the shoulder season, the off peak season, you're going to probably find more availability to use your points and miles.
Mm-hmm.
But it really depends. Like we've been to, I mean, I've been in Barcelona when in like January, it was fine. It was also, we've been some places where it's cold in like October, November. Like we went to, was it Reykjavik in November? It was, cold, but that's what you would expect. I've also been to Greece in February and it was, 75 degrees outside. So,
Mm-hmm.
I think it depends on where you're going. I would just definitely look at the weather as well.
Yeah, and then understand too, like United is they're known for this, where they'll say no blackout dates, but all they're saying is like you can book like certain things. Like I just booked a trip to Colombia, and
Yep.
I'm flying business class. But if you wanted to fly economy, usually it's about 20,000 points each way.
Mhm.
And what they'll do is they'll say no blackout dates, but if they run low on those seats, those economy seats, they're just going to raise that point value up
Uh,
to like 50,000 points one
right.
way, which is ridiculous, and you should never redeem for that. But
Oh,
that's what they do. So you have to kind of watch that, and like Dustin was saying, certain times if there's like during rainy season or wherever, depending on where you're flying to, you might be able to get better value just because there not that many people are going to be flying out there. Let's see. Braveheart has a question here. Let's see. He wants to know, now that United points do not expire, I'm over 524. Do you recommend that I apply for the card and call the reconsideration line? I may just get the card. Well, I'll answer it first.
yeah, go ahead.
When it comes to, so you're over 524, and if you have the way that I would handle it is I would go in branch, and I would try to see I would have an account with Chase already. So if you have a banking account, you might have credit cards with Chase already. I can't remember what you have, Braveheart, as far as your cards. I think you said you had the Chase Sapphire Reserve or the preferred. But if you have a relationship with Chase already, maybe it doesn't hurt to go in branch and kind of explain to them your situation, and maybe they can work something out. I
Mhm.
would do it that way. If you already know you're over 524, I would do it that way, and as opposed to doing like a reconsideration. Because if you already are over 524, they're probably just going to tell you you're over 524. Or they're not going to say those words, but they're just going to say you have too many accounts open. But if
Right.
you go in branch and maybe talk to someone and just say, "Hey, this is my situation. I'm really interested in getting this card. What are the possibilities?" I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, if you don't get that just for you offer an in-branch pre-approval, I really don't think I'd waste my time with Chase on it. It's not worth, like, if you're over 524, they've just come down so hard and so strict on this that it's
Mm-hmm.
not worth the hard pull
Yeah.
with it. Like, I just don't know. Like, I haven't seen any successful data point of someone talking them into, like, maybe I've missed them, but if you're over 524, I just haven't seen anyone be successful in turning over that decision.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, if you're over 524, I don't know what your 524 status is, Braveheart, but if you apply, it draws attention to your account. And depending on how aggressive you've been in opening cards, Chase might look at that and say you're not worth the risk. We see you as someone who's gaming the system.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to terminate our relationship with you. So that's been stuff that's happened to people. I mean, just even looking through the Reddit forums.
Yeah.
So it's not worth necessarily the eyes to maybe just try it. I would definitely I would definitely just hold off unless you get that pre-approval, like David said.
Yeah. And look at like what you don't need United. You don't need a United card. You really don't. It's I always tell people, yeah, if you're starting out, you're under 524. Obviously, you're starting out. United Card's not a bad card to get. World of Hyatt Card's not a bad card to get. But you don't need that United card. You can still fly in United if you have the Chase ecosystem. You can still transfer your points over to United. The United card is going to get you the free check bag and the priority boarding. That's pretty
Right.
much all you're going to get with that. Actually, that is all you're going to get with that card.
Yeah.
Minus the sign up bonus. I mean, you'll get a sign up bonus with the card, but other than that, it's not an everyday card. I don't use it at all. The only time that I use it, and this they kind of force you to use it if you're going to be flying with them, because if you don't use that card to pay your taxes and fees or
You
pay
keep the
any
check
part of your
bag.
flight, then you're not going to get the you're not going to get the free check back and the priority boarding.
Yeah.
So that's the
I'm
only reason
curious.
that I use that card.
I'm curious
Mm.
what's going to happen in November because one of the big benefits for the United card has been that extra XN space to have that extra award availability.
Yeah,
But if they're going to a dynamic award, then if there's a seat, there should be a space. Like, so what happens if that was like a huge benefit of United cards? Like,
yeah,
is that going away? Like, they got to replace it with something. They're already upset with Chase that the reserve card's kicking its
yeah.
butt. But if you're going to keep slashing stuff and not competing, then I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, yeah, and that's ridiculous too. Their whole being upset with Chase because
Yeah.
they
Because they
they
can't
have better
compete.
better earn possibilities and stuff. Well, make a card that has good earn possibilities, or just change the earn possibilities so you get 3 points for every dollar spent. Different categories. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was comical to me that they were upset about that. But yeah, you're right. I I just don't put too much emphasis on that United card. You're at 524 already. It's
Yeah.
not even really. It's not worth getting. It's not worth getting. In your situation, it's not worth getting.
Yeah.
There are
I
plenty
don't
of other
think
cards
so.
out there that you can look for that will give you some of the same. I mean, unless you're just in love with United, which you're probably not. And
Even if you are, I mean, I look at something like, I mean, you have other options. Like look at Avianca.
mm,
Avianca, it's still 60,000 miles for that bonus low spin requirement.
yeah, Star
You know,
Alliance
you can fly
partner.
60,
Yeah,
for example, that's yeah, it's in a partner, it's part of Star Alliance. If you're someone who likes to fly, 63,000 miles in business class, you can book mixed cabins online. You can't do that. Like United just charges you the business class space. Avianca, while it's still buggy, will like allow you to book mixed cabins so you can save some miles. So there's some value there. I would definitely look at. I'd move on.
yeah, yeah. It's not a that's not a deal breaker card in my mind.
Yeah.
So, oh, excuse me. All right, okay, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and call it tonight. I really appreciate all you guys stopping by, and Dustin,
Yes.
man, I
Thank you so
appreciate you.
much.
I appreciate you stopping by. And actually, I did forget, so I'm glad you reminded me. I forgot that we were doing our show today, and you reminded me this morning or the email that you sent out. So I'm glad you did that because
No,
that would
not a
have
problem.
been
I was coming back. I was leaving my hotel and I was like, I need to check in on this because like I actually took my SIM card out because I used a Google Fi's data only SIM card
okay. We got
while
to
I was
talk about
there.
that real quick. So how do you like that? Because I just got one.
Oh
I
man, I
just
loved
got
it.
it.
I had 4G coverage all throughout. I was able to use like all my messages through I had Google Voice so I could send text messages to Google Voice.
Uh huh.
I was still accessing Google Maps,
So
everything I
you
needed to do
said you send
online.
text messages through Google Voice,
Or
like
Facebook Messenger, like you still had access to communicate with people. You could
yeah.
send it to Skype if you wanted
But
to.
you're using your data though, right? Like
Yeah, you're using data to do it. If you're on
okay,
Wi-Fi, it prioritizes Wi-Fi.
okay.
So like I love Google. I actually was in like I was part of Project Fi like when it was beta.
Uh huh.
And like the only reason why I've left it, and it's not because I don't love it. I Samsung, I don't T-Mobile's not super strong in the area,
Uh huh.
and I need to test out the SIM card to see if it's gotten better. But if T-Mobile was stronger here, I would just lock on to T-Mobile. I love the
Okay.
system. I love how easy it is to travel internationally with it. It's seamless. It
Yeah.
is so it's I know you could probably get a better value maybe by saving a couple dollars, but like it was so easy. I had data everywhere I needed in Europe. I've
Hmm.
never had an issue with it, even traveling through these areas. You hop on Wi-Fi, it says, "Hey, you're on Wi-Fi. We're prioritizing this. We're not using data anymore."
Okay. Cool.
Love it.
Yeah.
It's no, it's great. I love
Yeah,
it.
I just got the Pixel 3a, and yeah,
Okay.
it's not not an expensive phone, like $400. I think it's
Nah, get a
400,
great camera
300.
though.
Is it 300? No, I think it's 300, 400. I don't know, 400.
It's in that ballpark.
Yeah, it's ballpark. But yeah, so I got that. I got the Google Fi thing all set up because I'm going to Colombia in 2 weeks. So I
Yep.
wanted to have that for that. So I still have my regular phone, but I wanted to try this whole Google Fi thing out. One thing that I really like about it is the fact that you can put it on pause. So I
Oh
don't
yeah.
have to have it open the whole time. I mean, I don't have to have this account going the whole time. I can put it on pause for up to 6 months, I think. So
Oh yeah, like
that's
it's
cool.
super awesome. And with that 3A, you still get the Google camera, which like I've had a Pixel up until I got the Samsung phone.
Uh huh.
It is even with the Samsung, and I'm a big fan of it. The Pixel camera, if you're an iPhone lover, sorry, I don't care. The Pixel camera is the best camera on a cell phone over. Like
Yeah.
it's just so good, and that night sight is just whatever they do is good. I know Apple's coming out with it, so I'm curious how it'll be on the 11.
Uh
But
huh.
like Google's night sight is unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't even used the camera yet. I'm kind of
It's
a
so
camera
good.
snob though, so I don't know. I mean, it's good to have on a phone, but I'm a snob when it comes to camera. I mean, I do the photography stuff, so
Yeah.
I'm very
See, I have
picky.
it's just so good. Like, I don't know, like for a phone, it's just so good. Like I know
Yeah.
it's definitely not like professional grade as far as, but like it's really hard to not say like that's a good photo.
Yeah. Oh, well, you guys are going to see it because I'm going to be doing some live streams with it. So you'll see the
Okay.
video. You'll see the video of it. But yeah. All right then, Dustin, man. Like I said, I really appreciate you coming on,
Awesome. Thanks for
and I
having me
definitely want to
on.
have you back, so
Awesome.
we can talk some more miles, maybe get some more people in the community on the channel.
That would
Um,
be awesome.
and yeah, man. So when's your next video launch, or when are you dropping your next video? I
Next
should say.
video goes tomorrow morning. I might
Okay.
switch a couple around, but
Okay.
next video goes tomorrow morning. I have one every Tuesday and Friday. I do like an occasional. I do almost three a week, though sometimes with like award booking demonstrations or a live stream. But tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, next video drop.
All right, cool, cool. And I have Dustin's links in the description, so just check the description. Link to he has a website as well as his YouTube channel. Do you have any other contacts that you want to mention?
I'm active on Instagram,
Okay,
Twitter. I have a Facebook group, all at Waller's Wallet.
okay,
I've been trying to do that as a whole, but Twitter I'm pretty active on. Instagram I'm trying to be more. I'm more active on stories, and then my Facebook group I post stuff in there. But
okay.
those are kind of the other ones.
All right, cool. All right, so Dustin, thank you for stopping by. We're gonna take off
Thank you
now.
so much for having me on.
Yeah, no worries, man. So next Saturday, that'll be our next live stream. So tune in 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that's it. Talk to you guys later. Bye.
All right, take care.